A two-homer night from Savannah Jaquish, a no-hitter dealt by Autumn Pease. Game 1 of the WPF Championship Series was all smoke and an 8-0 run rule victory here in San Marcos. Tonight, the Smoke play for Coronation and their second straight title, while Coastal Bend looks to extend the series to a winner-take-all game tomorrow night. On the official WPF YouTube channel, Brant Freeman with Bill Colhane. And Bill, last night's game, a microcosm of the season for the Smoke, dominant in all phases.
Yeah, no doubt, starting with Autumn Pease in the circle. Anytime you throw a no-no, obviously you're giving your team an opportunity to win. She really regrouped after a little bit of a bumpy top of the first. And what about Savannah Jaquish? Went deep twice, 5 RBI for her 2 home runs en route to the 8-0 victory. The Smoke announced that they are ready to go.
In the circle tonight for the Coastal Bend tidal wave, Kelly Lynch. Lynch, last time she faced this lineup, went 2/3 of an inning, giving up 3 earned runs off 3 hits before leaving with some hand trouble. And she gets a start tonight after last night's starter was Cassie Valdez, and then a couple of innings out of Casey Hamilton. The lineup for the Smoke, led off by Janae Jefferson. She'll be followed by Silent Rain Espinosa and Savannah Jaquish, who hit 2 homers last night, driving in 5. Charla Eccles, Jada Cody, Jazz Hill, 4 through 6, and then 7 through 9, Maddie Grimm, Morgan Howe, and Anna Marie Bruni. And game 2 is underway with the ball outside.
We talked about it at the end of last night's game for Coastal Bend. It was a matter of just hitting the reset button. This is a team that scored 14 runs in their 14-2 semifinal win over the Monarchs on Monday. Had a bad day at the office offensively last night, and a big part of the reason was, of course, Autumn Pease, the right-hander.
Jefferson in the box right now for the Smoke. Last night, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. And she's ahead against Lynch, 2-1. Another run rule victory for the Smoke last night. 4th straight time they have run ruled this tidal wave franchise, as these two just played a series this past week in San Marcos. Fly ball to left. Park's going to hold this. And Whitley with a catch. And Jefferson retired by Lynch to start the game.
Just as Lynch did there with Jefferson, whoever's in the circle tonight for the tidal wave, you can't afford to give up the free passes. 5 walks last night, a part of that 8-0 Smoke victory. You've got to make the Smoke earn anything and everything.
Now Silent Rain Espinosa, before the game, had a chance to visit with head coach Kat Tarvin and asked her the question we've been asking over the broadcast: who is this year's WPF MVP? So many candidates on this Smoke team, and she was kind of on board with us, Bill. Her pick, as it is ours, has been Silent Rain Espinosa.
Our scouting reports matched up, and when I arrived at the booth earlier today, you and I were talking about the lineup. Well, last night Espinosa played shortstop. She's so versatile, gets moved to first base. Speaking of first base, she's on first base again.
Yeah, base knock up the middle by the glove of her shortstop counterpart, Tatum Onzaldo. A 1-out single, the first hit of the game for the Smoke, and a runner on for Savannah Jaquish.
How good was Jaquish last night? Her first home run, a blast over the wall in left, and then came up in the 4th inning and had another shot, this time over the wall in right center.
Driving in 5 of the team's 8 runs, looks at the ball upstairs from Lynch, 1-0. Crazy thing about this ballpark, by the way, the last 6 games played here, to include the tail end of a series between Coastal Bend and the Texas Monarchs, have all been run rule victories, 6 in a row.
In part, and it's a conversation that you and I have had and many fans have had, it's been a very offensive summer. I mean, I don't remember any 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 type games.
2-0 count. Jaquish with a fly ball to right. Shellerman squeezes it for out number 2, and a big out there for Lynch. 2 down. That'll bring up Charlotte Eccles.
You say big out, and you're correct. But the thing is, and we talked about it as recent as last night, with this Smoke batting order, you never get a chance to kind of take a deep breath, because like the scenario here, okay, you've got 2 down, but there's a runner at first, and Eccles is standing in.
Now the Smoke 1 win away from a repeat title. They swept USSSA 2-0 in last year's championship series and up 1-0 here.
Yeah, this Smoke team that returns double-digit players off that 2023 squad.
Popped up and near the line, Whitley the catch, and Kelly Lynch keeps the Smoke off the scoreboard in the first inning. Able to navigate around the one-out single hit by Styler Lorraine Espinoza. We head to the bottom of the first. Coastal Bend batting for the first time when we return. Getting the ball with perhaps a championship on the line is Jayla Wright, trying to lead her team to a title. Wright, when pitching at home this season, 3-1, does have the lone loss on the year for the Smoke, but that was eons ago. Sub-2 ERA, 1.94, 21 2/3 innings for Wright when pitching at home. 4 starts, couple of complete games, 26 strikeouts, 7 walks when pitching here in San Marcos. And now the batting order for the tidal wave. Malaysia Ochoa will bat leadoff. She was able to get on base twice last night against Autumn Pease, getting hit by a pitch a couple of times. Tate Whitley, Tatum Monzaldo also batted the first inning. We'll also see Trinity Cannon, Kelly Lynch, and Julia Jimenez in the order. Bottom third, Rylan Wiggins, Alyssa Garcia, and Grace Chellerman for a tidal wave team trying to extend the series to winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow.
As we dissected last night's game, one of the things that we pondered is the tidal wave loaded the bases in the top of the first and weren't able to cash in. What if Coastal Bend can jump out on top and maybe put a little bit of pressure on this Smoke team? It'll be interesting to see how that scenario would play out.
But of course, the tidal wave had the exact player you wanted at the plate with the bases loaded, Julie Jimenez, but struck out to end the threats. And after that first inning, the tidal wave only got 1 base runner the remainder of the game.
Yeah, Pease was locked in, was able to command every pitch, was hitting corners, and when she challenged batters going to white part of the plate, able to execute pitches and get outs, it did not matter.
2-0 to Ochoa. No hit last night after putting up 14 runs in the run rule victory in Monday's semifinal win over the Monarchs.
That was 15 hits on Monday, 4 doubles, 4 home runs. It didn't carry over.
Ochoa rolls one to the first baseman, Styler Lorraine Espinoza. As Bill talked about her versatility, you can put her any infield position, she's going to play well.
Well, we've seen her play the outfield. I kind of joked with you during our production meeting. I wonder if, I know a lot of these players pitched once upon a time on their youth teams, their travel ball teams, but you wonder if Espinoza went in the circle, how she would fare.
Bases empty, 1 out for Tate Whitley. The Ole Miss product looks at the ball down, 1-0 from Jayla Wright. Whitley in Game 1 last night, 0 for 2 with the sacrifice.
Whitley does a good job of inside-out swing. We've seen her have a lot of power to left center.
A lot of these players have gone on to represent their national teams, and for Whitley, a member of the Great Britain national team.
I spent some time over in the UK once upon a time.
See any softball over there?
I was just going to say, didn't see a lot of baseball, softball, of course. Cricket, very popular. Not the same sport, but kind of in the same genre.
You familiar with the rules?
Of cricket?
Cricket, yeah.
It's been a minute. Enough to be able to watch it and feel like I have some understanding.
So if I watched it with you, you could help educate me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you, for some reason, uttered, if you said sticky wicket, I would know what you mean.
And I would have no idea when to say that at any point in the game.
Yeah, well, and okay, I didn't know we would go down this road, but there are some cricket matches that take days to complete. There are breaks in the middle where the players will vacate the field for tea and sandwiches, kind of thing. And you're smiling at me, but it's
seriously
1,000%.
Ground ball to short, vacuumed up by Grimm. 2 outs in the inning. Boy, tea and sandwich break sounds really nice during doubleheaders, doesn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. But we've talked about the growth. I guess we'll segue into the game itself. The game has grown. There's so much over the years. You and I, throughout the summer, we've kind of reflected back on when we started covering softball 20, 30 years ago. Just look in the U.S., the college game, how much it's grown.
Nobody on, 2 out for Tatum on Zondo. Ground ball up the middle. Jefferson backhand off her back foot, throws on target to Silent Rain Espinosa to end the inning. A lot of solid infield defense for the Smoke in the first inning. Outs from Espinosa, Grimm, and Janae Jefferson. Scoreless through 1. We head to the second in game 2 with the Smoke playing for a title here tonight. Speaking before the game, Kat Tarbin lauding just how deep her team is. Really impressed with the depth of her lineup, 1 through 9. In agreement with your assessment, Bill, no holes in the lineup. And, it's been very special for her to have been a part of this franchise for a second consecutive season. And the opportunity now to win a repeat title would mean a lot to her and this entire team, many of which are back from last season's title run.
Yeah, I think my count, probably wrong, but 11 or 12 players, returners from the 2023 championship. We even saw a number of the players next to the Smoke dugout in pregame holding up their 2023 title belt. They'd like to have a twin for that belt from a year ago.
Second inning underway in a scoreless game. Batting here for the Smoke, it is hitters 5 through 7. Jada Cody, Jazz Hill, and Manny Grimm. Cody, a WPF rookie, as is Jazz Hill. Grimm has been a veteran professional player. Bill and I brought this up last night. Jada Cody, one of the greatest hitters in UCF history. Program now the Big 12, before that the AAC. And she's ahead against Lynch 3-0.
I think early on in the game, probably see Cody take here, try to get on base.
And there you go. 4-pitch walk. First walk given up by Lynch. Leadoff batter is on to the second. For a Smoke team on the verge of an incredible run to close out the season, should they win tonight, they would end the year going 30-1, closing everything out with 27 straight wins.
Of course, last night the Smoke only had 4 offensive innings, but they were able to get the leadoff runner on in 3 of the 4.
Jazz Hill looks at a ball outside. Now 5 in a row out of the zone from Lynch. That'll lead to a quick chat with Julie Jimenez, out a few steps from third. Another miss. 2 balls and no strikes.
Harken back to what I said at the top. Got to make the Smoke earn anything and everything. You've got to be great with the defense, but also in the circle. I know it's tough to challenge these hitters at times, but you've got to do it.
5 walks given up last night between the combo of Cassie Valdez and Casey Hamilton.
3 of them scored, which, you know, you do the subtraction and you say, okay, well, minus the walks, it's a 5-0 game. But still, if you're trying to piece together what amounts to back-to-back wins now, I hate to use the word perfect, but you got to be close to it.
You do wonder the strategy for Tidal Wave head coach Blake Miller the same tonight as it has been the first 2 days of the playoffs. That is to only go a couple of innings with each pitcher. Will that be the strategy here again tonight?
I would think so. Of course, coach is privy to far more information than we are in terms of players' health and strategy and their tool set.
Hill smacks a base hit to right. Second hit of the night for the Smoke, and the first 2 have reached here in the second, so a lot of early pressure in the inning, now facing Kelly Lynch.
Nice job going opposite field there by Hill. That was a professional at-bat by the rookie. You did notice that Cody put on the brakes at second base. If there were any negatives, and believe me, I use lowercase letters when I say it, but the Smoke did have 2 runners thrown out on the bases last night.
Matty Grimm swings, drives one, deep right, hammered in, wake on. 3-run bomb, Matty Grimm, and the Smokes take an early 3-0 lead.
Sometimes when the Smoke hit their home runs, you need a stopwatch. That thing was so high, such a moonshot, that you felt like you were going to time it with a calendar. Look at that thing off the bat. What do the kids say, launch angle?
Man, well, the kids are talking about that one right there. That was launched out of here. And Grimm, a 3-run shot to put her team on top early. And there's that belt Bill was referencing earlier. I was just wondering, you know, in many situations, when the first 2 reach, the bottom of the order is batting, you bunt them over. This Smoke team doesn't bunt. Don't
have to, right? They can manufacture runs like we saw there without having to give up and out to move runners over. And again, talk about Grimm. She sat on that back leg and absolutely teed off on it.
Think about the 2 at-bats prior to Grimm's, though. You have Cody, patient at the plate, walks on 4 pitches. And then you have Hill, falls behind, 2 balls, 2 strikes, works the count full, gets a base hit opposite way.
Smoke can do it in so many ways. You don't put together the record that they've done this summer without doing a lot of things very, very well. And it's infectious. You know, just like lack of success sometimes can permeate throughout a team, and we're not just talking softball, but you know, success again is contagious.
That ball to right, another base hit for Morgan Howell this time. So 3 straight base hits now for the Smoke. Howell's on with still nobody out. 3 runs have scored, and well, look out. Here comes the Smoke right now in the second.
Yeah, here they come, and that bunt, Brant, that you were looking for earlier, Bruni runs so well, handles the bat so well. I would expect to very likely see a bunt here because Bruni, the way she runs, she can beat out a lot of even good plays by corner infielders.
Swings and fouls it back. Anna Marie Bruni from Swinksville, Pennsylvania. Played her college softball at South Florida. Had a big 2-run triple last night that cracked the scoreboard in the seconds. And if you recall, Bill referenced the base running outs. Almost had an inside the park home run.
Yeah, if it wasn't for a tremendous play by Jimenez, the third baseman, who threw an absolute BB to Garcia at the plate for the bang-bang tag.
Jimenez has had a good postseason so far. Although her home run streak came to an end last night, that's fouled away. Jimenez had homered in 4 straight games for the tidal wave, to include a big 3-run homer in Monday's semifinal.
Yeah, big in that one. One of those 4 home runs, round trippers for the tidal wave in that win on Monday. And that's why, as we put together our scouting reports for this championship series, that's why we thought, okay, the tidal wave, talk about momentum, you know, they're kind of set up to come into this thing and keep things going. And with what Autumn Pease did last night, just absolutely slammed the door shut. And now the tidal wave find themselves behind again.
Fly ball to left, coming in is Whitley in the shadows of Bobcat Softball Stadium. Puts it away for the first out. So we get Lynch in the circle tonight for the tidal wave. Last night, the duo, Cassie Valdez, Casey Hamilton, gave up 8 runs on 8 hits. But that big glaring issue of the walks, the two combined for 5 with no strikeouts.
And remember, that's over 4 offensive innings, too. So 5's a big number.
Actually 4. There was no bottom of the 5th.
Yes, 4 offensive
4
innings,
offensive,
5
okay,
walks. Yeah.
Yeah. In the dirt, Howard takes off for second. Here's a tag, and it's not in time.
What Howard does there, like all good base runners are taught, see that pitch out of the hand. If you're the base runner, don't wait till the ball's at the hitting area. See it out of the hand, and if you see it down in the dirt and you can run like Hal can, take off. You don't need a base coach to tell you to go.
Jefferson batting for a second time tonight. Flew out to left in her first plate appearance. The former Texas Longhorn was on the Smoke team a year ago when they won the title, beating the USSSA Pride in the championship series. That ball headed towards center and right to Malaysia Ochoa for out number 2.
I have no idea how Jefferson got the bat to the ball on this pitch. Not sure if we'll get another look at it there, but it looked like that pitch was riding inside. Watch her bat head here. Huh? you hear the term golf shot, golf swing? That was exactly it.
Yeah, she found a way. Now Espinoza takes a bell tie strike, 0-1. Espinoza with a single earlier in the game, back in the first inning. Coming into the postseason, Espinoza had a 4-game stretch of 4 homers and 13 driven in. Reached base all 3 times last night. And looks at ball 1 of the dirts.
Yeah, Espinoza has been anything but silent. Her name's Silent Rain. She has been, since the first weekend when the Smoke took on the Monarchs, that's when Espinoza announced to the world, I'm going to have a great summer, and she has.
One of 2 Native American players in the WPF, along with Aspida Wesley, the pitcher for the Monarchs. A swing and miss strike there. It's 1-2. Lynch looking for her first strikeout and to keep the damage to only the 3 runs. Off the homer hit by Maddie Grimm.
Has that thing come down yet?
Not yet. Still traveling out there and right. Espinoza does strike out and retire for the first time in the series. But a Maddie Grimm 3-run homer has put the Smoke on top, 3-zip. Lynch is striking of Espinoza, though. We go to the bottom of the second. It is a 3-0 game with the Smoke on top of the tidal wave. Blake Miller looking for his offense to get going here. They are now in Game 2 of this championship series, still yet to score a run or get a hit. Coming up in the bottom of the second, he'll have Trinity Cannon, Kelly Lynch, and Julie Jimenez at the plate, so 3 good hitters. Trying to get some offense, trailing 3-0 as we head to the bottom of inning number 2. And again, the big swing at the top of the inning, courtesy of the Smoke shortstop, Matty Grimm, that 3-run homer.
Yeah, Matty Grimm, you and I talked about it during the break, wasn't even in the lineup last night and gets inserted into the lineup tonight, and look what she did. She must have been watching Jayquish last night.
Has given Jayla Wright a 3-0 lead.
Getting back to Coach Miller, had a good look at him there. Think about the job that he and his staff have done here in 2024 expansion season for Coastal Bend, and to put them in position, to do what they're trying to do.
Ground ball to third, and that's going to get through for a base hit between the 5-6 hole. A leadoff single for Cannon, and that is the first hit of the series now for the tidal wave.
Talked about momentum. We talked about passing that baton. Let's see if that'll get things going for Coastal Bend.
Cannon had a big hit earlier in the postseason, that 2-run homer in the first inning Monday night against the Monarchs. That'll bring up Kelly Lynch.
When a team scores 14 runs, it's really hard, challenging to point to a single hit or moment and say that was the key pivotal moment. But you and I simultaneously kind of talked about the fact that Cannon's home run in that first inning to get things going for Coastal Bend en route to that 14-2 win, that was a big moment for this team.
Pop up to the right side, and it falls in for a hit. Espinoza couldn't track it down. Back-to-back base hits. A little flare shot there off the bat of Lynch. 2 on, nobody out for Coastal Bend.
I'm not sure if Lynch hit that with her bat or her knuckles, but she was able, it's cue shot actually off the end of the bat. Beg your pardon. And part of the recipe for Coastal Bend, let's be real here. Part of the recipe is for them to have good fortune. That was some really good fortune, the way that ball was able to drop over Espinoza's glove and then leak out into foul territory.
And all of a sudden, you got Jimenez to play with a chance with one swing to maybe tie the game. Batting 6 in the order. 2 on, nobody out for Julie Jimenez. And she takes a strike to start the at-bat. Again, Jimenez coming into the game last night had homered in 4 straight games. So 3 times against the Smoke in 3 games last week.
She had a no-doubter on Monday, the win against the Monarchs. Autumn Pease put the clamps on a lot of batters last night. It wasn't isolated to an individual batter.
A lot of pitching available for the Smoke should Wright struggle tonight. Jessica Mullins, Samantha Shao, both available, did not pitch last night. And of course, the team got a bye beyond the semifinals.
Actually saw Jessica Mullen. She's warmed up a couple of times down in that left field corner bullpen.
1-1 pitch and a big rip there from Jimenez. Comes up empty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's Mullins, the former Texas State Bobcat. Could have a chance to clinch another title in this ballpark. Part of a Sun Belt Conference Championship tournament team just a couple of months ago. Jimenez lays off at a pitch outside.
And just off the outside corner. That was an exceptional waste pitch there by Wright, but obviously Jimenez not pulling the trigger. Good take by her.
Wiggins on deck. Couple of base hits have started the inning here for Coastal Bend. Cannon and Lynch. Nobody out with the tidal wave trying to respond after a 3-run inning in the top of the frame as we see Jimenez fly out to right. Cannon tags and advances to third. A productive out, but the first out of the inning. And now what away will bring up Rylan Wiggins.
And what tremendous scout by the Smoke coaching staff. There was an enormous gap in right center, but you see how the right fielder shaded over towards right field, the right field line, so she was basically perfectly positioned. Off the bat, I don't know about you, but I thought, oh, that's going to be down the line, maybe extra bases, and Howell was standing right there, basically where she's positioned right now.
Rylan Wiggins, the batter now. Runners first and third, 1 away. Wiggins, at last night's championship series opener, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. See Lynch at first base. She didn't move off her bag, but Cannon did from second to third.
We saw Espinoza get thrown out at second base last night as the trail runner trying to move an extra base.
No way the tidal wave can afford base running outs in this game. And already down 3-0. Swing and a miss on a ball out of the zone, 0-2.
Yeah, Wiggins expanded the zone there clearly to allow Wright to get ahead in the count. It would be so big, so important for the tidal wave to get at least 1 out of this after getting the first 2 on, especially with the good fortune of Lynch, her base hit, just dropping in down the right field line beyond Espinoza.
0-2, Wiggins with a ground ball to the right side, picked by Espinoza. That's the only play the Smoke will get as Cannon comes home and scores. So Wiggins, a productive RBI ground out, and now it's a 2-run game.
Initially on contact, look at Cannon, the runner at third. She hesitated, wasn't going to come home. It wasn't a contact play. She was going to stay at third, but as soon as the force out occurred at second, Cannon was en route to home.
And so the first run of the series for Coastal Bend makes it 3-1. And out 2 outs, Alyssa Garcia. Strike 1, pumped in by Jayla Wright as she faces Garcia here. The tidal wave catcher. In the opener last night, Garcia, also like Wiggins, 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
On Monday, saw Garcia hit a double to the wall in right center. Tidal wave would like to see that again.
Late on that swing, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, seen a few times here where early on it could be nerves, it could be, that trying a little too much, but tidal wave expanding the strike zone. A pitcher like Wright doesn't need a lot of help.
Even if Garcia is retired here, it feels so important that Coastal Bend not only found a way to get their first hit to the series, but more importantly, their first run, something to build upon moving forward.
Yeah, had to crack that egg. Confidence, so important in life, so important in sports, and the way really nothing had gone wrong for the Smoke up to this point.
Garcia with a ground ball, gloved by Espinoza to end the inning. But again, Coastal Bend is on the board. In the second, get a couple of hits and get an RBI from Rylan Wiggins. We played 2. It's a 2-run game here in Game 2 of the series. 3-1, Smoke on top of Coastal Bend. And what a night last night for Savannah Jaquish. Couple of home runs, drove in 5 in the 8-0 run rule victory. She leads off in the third inning for the Smoke here. Smoke on top of the series, 1-0, needing one more win to clinch back-to-back titles. Jaquish, a member of the 2023 Smoke Championship team. So for herself, playing for a second straight ring.
Jaquish described last night's performance by herself as it was like a dream.
We'll have to think, you grow up playing this game for so long, you dream about the postseason, that big hit. She had 2 of them last night.
2 of them.
LSU's all-time RBI leader, Savannah Jaquish, drove in 5 last night. Player from Highland, California, now calls Fort Collins, Colorado home.
Think about her summer, not only helping the Smoke do what they've done so far, but also on Team USA over in Italy in the World Championships, helping the U.S. to a silver medal.
One of the great players in the country right now, Savannah Jaquish. Been a pro for a number of years. Been playing pro softball since 2017.
And that's kind of one of the type of leaders the Smoke have in that dugout, helping their rookies along.
Something else we asked Kat Tarbin on that topic, you mentioned the veteran presence, and I asked her, who's the glue player of the team? There's so much talent, there's no question about that, but who does everybody else tend to rally around? And I thought the answer might be Jaquish, but her response was more of, it depends on the game. Yeah. There might be that one player that everybody tends to rally around in a particular night, and I would say last night, outside of Autumn Pease, it may have been Savannah Jaquish.
Yeah, and sometimes actions can speak louder than words, and what Jaquish did kind of put her team on her back, at least offensively, because we do not want to ignore what Autumn Pease did in the circle, but that was a leadership-type moment. If there were any jitters at all for the Smoke, seeing Jaquish do what she did, it helped everybody. There's a situation where a veteran experience presence can really help you.
Out of the plate, Charlotte Eccles, another miss upstairs from Lynch. So again, it felt like the strategy was a couple of times through the order, that was the maximum that Blake Miller will allow his pitchers in the postseason. But here's Lynch in a third inning of work.
And you and I agreed last night in terms of how we would set up the pitching. But, I said earlier, Coach, he has to take a lot of things into account, like, the fitness of a pitcher. This has been a long summer. These pitchers have done a lot of work for athletes who are used to playing maybe 3 games in a week, maybe 4. But this has been an intense Thursday through Sunday kind of marathon for the past 3 months. So, who knows? Would I be surprised if Valdez didn't get the ball tonight? Absolutely.
Well, not just that, but a lot of these rosters have several rookies on them, like Lynch herself, who just ended her collegiate careers, and there wasn't really much of a break between the end of the college season and the beginning of the WPF season. For some of these players, going back to camp before the college season began, they've been going at it since January.
So Coach Miller has to take all of that into account.
That ball ripped to right, and a base hit for Eccles bangs off the wall. Jaquish on her way to third, going to stop there. Eccles will settle for a loud single. Runners in the corners and nobody out.
Eccles, look at that approach there, just drops the bat head. She is, and I've been saying it all summer, but Eccles does such a great job with that short swing. Not a lot of moving parts, therefore not a lot can go wrong from her bat head to ball.
2 on, nobody out, and Jada Cody stepping up. Did not see a strike from Lynch the last time these two faced off. Still hasn't. 1 ball and no strikes.
Sometimes you see these batters with these high leg kicks and these long swings. Takes them a while to unpack after they decide to pull the trigger. And then you watch Eccles.
And she's been a joy to watch do her thing this summer.
My goodness. And the things she did in Gainesville for the Gators. Yeah, there's a look at her there. We could have put up a graphic, professional hitter.
We talked about rookies. Now, for the Smoke, they do have a handful. Cody is one of them. We talked about Jessica Mullins. She is another. Just two examples there. But a lot of these players, as we referenced, 11, 12-ish, were part of last year's championship teams, veteran pro players on the Smoke. Meanwhile, it feels like for the other three franchises, all three expansion, the bulk of their rosters made up of WPF rookies.
True. And why I know you and I are excited, like WPF fans, to see what's going to happen in the postseason. Because like we saw between 23 and 24, there will be players who will move between franchises as Cody draws another walk. I think we're going to get that pitching change here, Brant.
I think that we are. So Blake Miller has his lineup card out visiting with our plate umpire, Scott Mayer. And that'll lead to a change of the circle here for Coastal Bend. So 2 innings for Kelly Lynch. And the reliever coming in as quite the situation to inherit here. Cassie Valdez going to take her place. Now, Valdez did pitch last night for this team. But the strikeout numbers are there for Valdez. If she doesn't leave a ball over the heart of the plate, she's the type of pitcher you would want when you hear the bases juiced.
Exactly right. And she has to be in attack mode, though, right? You can't take the ball and try to be too fine, even though you see who's coming up. And Hill, we know she can hit. She's already singled and scored tonight. You know what Grimm did, but Valdez has to kind of erase all of that, put that to back of mind, and be in attack mode. Trust her stuff.
Another WPF rookie in Cassie Valdez from Brownsville, Texas. An incredible NAIA career at Our Lady of the Lake, where she won a national championship this season with the Saints for a team that went 57-3 on the topic of absurd win-loss records. You think about that a little bit. You play, with your colleagues in conference, and then your teams that are built just like you in the postseason, and of 60 games you play, you win 57 of them at that level.
It's a lot of W's. And you and I have had conversations with people, folks understanding what you and I do Thursday through Sunday nights out here, WPF softball. But yes, a lot of these players involved in championships and really good college programs. But when you go professional, Brant, as you and I have watched these players, so much more is the responsibility of the athlete themselves when it comes to scheduling, nutrition, training, and I could go on and on. So there is a dramatic adjustment.
Right out of the plate, the player who hit the first Grand Slam of the year in the WPF, Jazz Hill, comes up with the bases loaded now and nobody out after the pitching change facing Cassie Valdez. Lays off the changeup. It's 1-1. So Jake Wish, Eccles, and Cody all on the bases here. And Hill a chance to really widen the gap. Takes ball 2.
Well, Hill's approach here is she can really shrink the strike zone, kind of one speed, one spot mentality, knowing that Valdez has to come in here, doesn't want to fall behind 3-1.
At a 12 strikeout start early this WPF season, Cassie Valdez misses again, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Be interesting to see the rookie up. Will the take be on, or do you green light her? Valdez has to throw a strike.
Here it is, 3-1, and Hill takes a strike on the drop ball there at the knees. Nice pitch in that situation.
Yeah, pitching backwards, Valdez there, and looked like Hill was in take mode. She won't be here.
That's the type of pitch you need when you're down 3-1 if you're Valdez. Now the full count. Right back to Valdez to home for one. The only play that the tidal wave get, but that's the play you want. Right at home, keeps it a 2-run game, and now there's one out.
What a job by Valdez after falling behind in the count. Talk about the red-hot spotlight being on you. Able to induce that ground ball. But look, was there a play at first here?
I wonder the same. Garcia initially looked to third base. If she goes to first, there might be it out there because here's the other thing. A swing and a miss. That's a strike, and it's 0-1 to Maddie Grimm. Well, that would have been a tough play at third where the player has a chance to go back to the bag. Where at first base, you can get a force out there instead. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Grimm. Had a 3-run homer in her first at-bat.
In fairness to Garcia, and I agree with you, Brandon, I think the tidal wave would have been able to get that out at first, but in real time, you know, that thing's going 150 miles an hour, and Garcia made up her mind.
1-1 pitch. Let her high. That's upstairs to Grimm. Again, the uniform that the Smoke are wearing tonight have the player nicknames on the back. So fitting for Maddie Grimm. Her nickname, the Reaper. Love it. Fly ball is going to shoot out of play. But Chelleman, though, almost tracked it down. A ball you thought maybe was heading for the wall to get behind it, but Chelleman had enough room, gave it a shot, just came up short.
Tremendous effort. Had a long way to go, and look at that, just lowered her nose and took off. And what was that, about 6 inches away from making a spectacular catch. Grimm sat down on that back leg again, by the way. She's looking to launch.
Bases full, 1 out, 2-2. And Grimm, does she offer? No on the appeal. That had Trina Comerford at third base. Ooh, that's a tough call there for Coastal Bend.
And I'll weigh in and say this. The tidal wave dugout, not happy with that call.
And now full count. Grimm takes ball 4. Then a drive and a run on the bases loaded walk. And to the plates is the pinch runner, Mandy Perez, and now it's 4-1, back to a 3-run lead.
Of course, Coastal Bend going to think about the pitch before, where they thought they got the strike, and now Valdez going to have to put that behind her because, hello, newsflash, there's no rest for the weary when you go up against this Smoke batting order.
Now Morgan Howe, bases still loaded, ground ball to the right side, flip to second for 1, back to first for a massive double play. 4-6-3 twin killing. Wiggins to Anzaldo to Cannon. A tailor-made play here for the tidal wave. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is a 3-run game, 4-1. Grace Chilliman will lead off the third inning here for the Coastal Bend Tidal Wave. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, it is a 4-1 game, Smoke on top. You think back at the top of the inning, and remember the Smoke loaded the bases, nobody out, only got one run out of it. If you're Coastal Bend, you have to feel really good about that.
You have to be ecstatic about that. Valdez, what a job taking over, got the comebacker. Almost got a double play out of that, and then a little bit later did get a double play.
And for Jayla Wright, her third inning in the circle here for the Smoke. Starting pitcher for Coastal Bend, Kelly Lynch, goes 2 innings and gives up 4 earned runs. Now to the game, Cassie Valdez in the circle. 2-0 here to Chilliman.
We just talked about what the Tidal Wave were able to do in the top of the third, kind of wiggling off the hook. Well, harken back to the bottom of the second. Tidal Wave got their first run and their first couple of hits of the championship series. Let's see if they can build on that momentum.
2-0. Chilliman lays off and takes a strike. It's 2-1.
Saw Chettleman with that outstanding effort in right field in the top of the third. Almost caught a ball in foul territory. She had a great throw last night to nail Espinoza, trying to go first to second.
There's a bunt from Chilliman, goes foul. Good effort on the topic of effort there by the catcher, Jada Cody. And the count to Chilliman 2-2. To the player out of Woodhaven, Michigan. Cody has split time behind the plate this year along with Savannah Jaquish and Elizabeth Mason.
How good is that depth behind the plate for the Smoke?
Big part of the conversation we had earlier today with Kat Tarvin as Chilliman looks at strike 3. First strikeout for Wrights. Right down the pipe on a nasty pitch. And one away in the third.
Yeah, look at that. Absolutely painted the edge there. Cody did a great job of giving our home plate umpire, Scott Meyer, a good look at it.
And now to the top of the order for a second time, Malaysia Ochoa. Batting with nobody on and 1 out. Grounded out earlier in the game against Jayla Wright. Looks at a pitch outside here for ball 1. One of those WPF rookies we spoke of earlier. Wrapped up her career at Iowa State not long ago. Great table setter for the Cyclones. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike here.
And also for the Tidal Wave as well. Plays a good defense out in center field. And as you look ahead to her career, you wonder 2025, will she still be with the Tidal Wave or what's going to happen with her? But I would bet that she's going to be in a league.
A lot of the rookies this year have really impressed their first year pros, haven't they?
The way, and you just said it a few minutes ago, partner, the way the page in the book got flipped so quickly, going from college and a lot of them graduating and moving to a new state, a city, whatever, and Ochoa gives that one a ride, but then having to make that immediate adjustment, all of a sudden you're playing pro softball, and you're not only playing pro softball, you're playing against some of the best players in the world, and you're playing 4 games a week, and you're doing it in 98-degree heat in Central Texas. And
not to mention the travel involved as well.
Sure.
The Robstown Corpus area, about 2.5, 3 hours outside of San Marcos, although Coastal Bend has spent a lot of time here. This is their 3rd straight week in San Marcos. Nobody on, 2 out for Tate Whitley. So far for the Tidal Wave, 1 run on 2 hits against Jayla Wright. Grounded off of Whitley herself for strike 1. Now, the league last year, 4 teams in 4 different states. 4 teams this year, all in one state here in Texas.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the off season as we all get ready for 2025. I know, of course, we have connections at Texas State hosting the Smoke and the Monarchs here in the 2024 season, and I know the Texas State folks ecstatic about being able to host the WPF here in the 2024 summer.
One ball, one strike to Whitley. Tatum Onzondo waits on deck. Wright looking for a 1-2-3 third inning here. And there's Tatum Onzondo, one of the top WPF rookies as well. Arguably one of the top shortstops in the league on top of that.
Yeah, was it Monday we talked about, or was it last night? But in terms of all the things she can do, is she the best shortstop in a league full of really good shortstops? And there's Whitley, that, again, opposite field approach by her. Just does a great job of letting the ball travel. Look at that. Nose on ball and takes it the other way.
And with that base hit, we will see Onzondo with a runner on in the third inning. Third hit of the game for the tidal wave. And here comes Onzondo.
The Smoke have been able to keep her at bay so far this series.
Had that grand slam which broke the game open Monday night in the semis against the Monarchs. First pitch, bat stays at her shoulder. It is 1 ball and no strikes.
Onzondo giving a long look at Coach Miller in that third base coaching box. What do you send Whitley here? Down 4-1 with 2 down? And Onzondo up?
Got base running outs. You got to stay out of them if you're Coastal Bend. There is no tomorrow if you don't win this game tonight, right?
Yeah, I don't think you want to take the bat out of the hands of arguably your best power hitter. I know what Jimenez has done recently, but I think the full body of work, Onzondo has proven that she's got the pop.
And you said the power as well, so Whitley can score from first base. She doesn't have to run here. Fly ball to left, hooking just foul. Onzondo going opposite away that time towards the Smoke bullpen. That'll run the count to 2-1. And Kat Tarver's going to talk to Jayla Wright as you look at Tatum Onzondo.
Nobody actively throwing in the Smoke bullpen, but as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we have seen Mullins down there a couple of times throughout the early part of the game. Archer's been throwing, meanwhile, for the tidal wave in their bullpen.
Archer and Onzondo teammates together, Cal.
You've been to Berkeley?
I have, just outside of Oakland, Northern California. Cal's program were at the top of the Pac-12, now playing in the ACC. That'll take some getting used to. The 2-1 fouled away, evens the count 2-2. Onzondo in her final year in the Pac-12, top 5 of the conference in 5 major offensive categories. Helped guide that Golden Bear program to the Baton Rouge Regional, where she faced off against her future tidal wave teammate Kelly Lynch. Lynch, the former LSU Tiger.
Big pitch here, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And here's a 2-2 from Wright. Swung on left side. Grimm handles it as short. The throw to Jefferson at second base to end the inning. So Coastal Bend trying to piece together 2-out offense, but unable to do so. Wright able to shut down Coastal Bend. We go to the 4th inning. 3-run game. Smoke on top, 4-1. We had some sad news to pass along earlier this week following the sudden and tragic passing of the stepson of Monarchs head coach Candace Fitton-Bachbrader. Her stepson, 22-year-old Tristan Bachbrader, was involved in a motorcycle accident along with his father and Candace's husband, Craig. And Tristan passed away earlier this week. There is a GoFundMe up for the family currently as Craig continues his recovery. And you can go search for the Bachbrader family on GoFundMe, which so far has raised more than $12,000, $12,500 towards funeral costs and hospital coverage for Craig. Very sad and tragic story to pass along. All of our thoughts are with the Bachbrader family during this difficult time.
Good words indeed there, Brand. I echo everything that you said. And if there's something that we've learned, as you and I have been fortunate to be a part of the WPF here in 2024, is it competition? Absolutely. Do these teams compete fiercely? You betcha. But there's also a lot of a family feel as well when you see the interactions and the relationships between the players.
Fly ball to center, and that's going to bounce off the bottom of the wall. And rounding third and coming over to the plate is Bruni to make it 5-1. Janae Jefferson with a shot to center field. A double makes it a 4-run lead.
If you're an outfielder, one of the most difficult balls to judge is the one hit right at you. Initially, Ochoa kind of froze for a moment, and then when she realized it was over her head, wasn't able to retreat in time. And we've already gone on record saying the way Bruni and Jefferson can run, look out.
Yeah, those two can absolutely fly around the bases. With that speed, a two-base hit for Jefferson and a run from first base for Bruni. 5-1 lead now, and here comes the heart of the order. Nobody out in the fourth inning. Espinosa looks at a ball outside.
Even if Ochoa had immediately turned over her right shoulder and gone back, don't know that she would have been able to catch up with Jefferson's shot.
Three runs with a smoke in the second off the homer from Matty Grimm. A single run to the third and now one in the fourth inning. Only run for the tidal wave coming in the bottom of the second. Two balls and one strike to Espinosa.
Saw Lynch earlier in the game really fool Espinosa. Not something many pitchers have had success doing this summer. Was able to get her with a pitch up.
Espinosa played against the Smoke in last year's championship series, playing for USSSA Pride. And now a chance to win a ring with this team this year, 1 win away. And the Smoke on top, 5-1, lead of the series, 1-0.
So think about all of the returners from last year's championship team, and then you add a player like Espinosa.
Able to check her swing. That's the second time, though, you've seen that drop ball just kind of bend the knees and almost get the better of those hitters up there. Before Espinosa, it was Grimm in the last inning.
Yeah, Espinosa almost, obviously, we saw it, almost pulled the trigger there. It's a really good take.
That ball grounded sharply to seconds, and Wiggins will make the play to first. A snap throw back to third. Jefferson just back in time. Good heads-up play by Cannon at first base. But Jefferson's safe, and now there's one out in the inning.
Those of you who haven't followed the championship series, last night in the 8-0 win, Jaquish, two home runs in that win. 2-run shot and a 3-run homer. And what Coach told you earlier, Brand, about a different player stepping up, a different player leading game in and game out. I mean, tonight's a good example where Grimm didn't even play last night, and she has the 3 home runs, 3 of the 5 runs up on the board right now.
1 ball, 1 strike to Savannah Jaquish. Cassie Valdez, second inning of work. And hitting behind Jaquish, Charlotte Eccles. A lot of big bats in the order. Again, no holes, 1 through 9 for the Smoke. 1-1 pitch, dropped in for a strike by Valdez. It's 1-2.
Here's your pitch again, the one you like, and it's really good pitch when Valdez has that command. You can see she's fooling some really good hitters.
Even if you make contact with it, I don't think you're doing much with that pitch.
Especially if you get too far out on that front foot.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Today, Jefferson at third. That pitch misses up and away. Fills the count 3-2. Should Coastal Bend come back and win this game, we would have a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here in San Marcos. Full count, and Jaquish draws her second walk of the night.
Watching Valdez work against Jaquish, it was clear her approach was she was going to mix pitches, mix locations, plural, just not able to command there. Good idea, just couldn't execute a couple of pitches, and now there is trouble up in that left-handed batter's box.
There is, in the form of Charlotte Eccles, a single earlier in the game. She's 1 for 2. Has shown her home run power off quite a bit here in San Marcos and takes a strike to start the at-bat. The Smoke team, which has now won 4 straight postseason games dating back to last year. They were down in their series against the Smash It Vipers, 0-1 to the semis. Came back to win that series 2-1. Swept the championship and up 1-0 here in this series. Same spot, same call there for Valdez, 0-2.
Yeah, Jaquish there kind of went halfway between first and second trying to draw a throw, and Garcia wasn't having any of it. So Jaquish continued on to second base. Takes away the force out.
0-2, rolled to first. Here's a throw to home, and there's no play, but now look to second base and no throw from Garcia. Wanted to keep Jefferson and wanted to keep her staying put at third, and as a result, everybody is safe.
And that's the threat, the pressure that a player like Jefferson can put on you. Just by her bluffing, coming down the third base line, was enough to disrupt that play for the tidal wave. Maybe, possibly, if you go to first base, maybe you're able to get Eccles at first. But, again, Brant and I fully understand that our vantage point up here, the game's a lot slower sometimes than it is down on the field.
So once again, the bases loaded for the Smoke. Remember, they loaded the bases in the second inning, or the third inning rather, only got a run out of it with nobody out. Now 1 out here for Jada Cody, who has walked twice in the game. Facing Valdez for the first time, fly ball to left center. Jefferson's going to tag, and she's going to score easily. Without a throw to home, and now it's 6-1, a 5-run lead on the sac fly from Jada Cody.
There are a lot of times where you would say, okay, bases loaded, less than 2 outs, you'll trade an out for a run. But you look at the scoreboard and the tidal wave, the deficit just grows.
Strike 1 to Jazz Hill. You get the sense this game is one huge swing away from really breaking open here.
Breaking open, or if you're a tidal wave fan, you still hold out hope that the tidal wave will be able to mount some kind of threat.
In one of the games a week ago, the tidal wave found themselves down 6-1 going into the fourth. They got a 5-run inning to tie the game. And that was shortly before the weather delay went into effect. The next day happened, and then the Smoke ran away with it, and a lot of people wondered, had they kept playing that night with momentum on the tidal wave side, would that game have ended differently? Hill with a fly ball to center, and that's going to drop in but a throw to third, that gets away from Jimenez. A possible force out, unable to make that play, though, is Jimenez, and the base is loaded once again.
And a base running mistake there by the Smoke. With 2 down, as a runner, you're off with contact there. And look at the runner at second holding up. And I don't know that Jaquish would have been able to score, of course, but an accurate throw to third base to Jimenez, and that's an out. Inning over.
Bases loaded for Matty Grimm as Haley Archer gets loose. But a big night for Grimm. 3-run homer back in the second and an RBI walk in the third. A 4-run night. 4 runs driven in by Grimm. Batting here with the bases loaded. 1-0 pitch. Swung on left center field. She's going to drive in more runs. Jaquish scores. Echols is going to score. Here's Jazz Hill, and she's going to score. Grimm clears the bases. She is thrown out at third base to end the inning. But how about the night for Matty Grimm?
How about 6 driven in for Grimm in a playoff game?
And so she clears the bases with 1 swing, and it puts the Smoke on top 9-1. A big inning once again for the Smoke, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. The champs are on top 9-1 over Coastal Bend, and we're back after this. What a night for Matty Grimm on this beautiful Thursday evening in Central Texas. Sun is setting and maybe setting on the season as well. The Smoke on top 9-1, a win away from a title, lead of the championship series, 1 game tonight of this best of 3, and pulling away after a 5-run 4th. Matty Grimm with a bases clearing double, a 7 RBI night for the veteran shortstop.
Yeah, Brant, and you've always told me that my math needs to be gooder. So I want to apologize to the Grimm family because as she cleared the bases there, I had my toes and my fingers out. I said 6, which would be a great night. But 7, what is that? 7's
even better than 6. So a 3-run homer, RBI walk, and a 3-run double for Matty Grimm tonight. And an 8-run lead in the 4th. Cannon leads off the inning here against Jayla Wright. And the first pitch is low for ball 1. Now, Coastal Bend is the home team in this game. That means there is a guaranteed bottom of the 5th. So if you're the tidal wave here, you've got 6 outs to try to scratch across some runs here and keep this game going.
I'm pretty much going to rewind and say a lot of what I said last night in that if you're a tidal wave batter, you can't go up there trying to hit that 5-run homer. What the tidal wave have to try to do, like they did Monday, like they did in that before-mentioned 5-run inning they had against the Smoke last week, is you've got to piece things together. You have to pass the baton. You can't go outside of your approach.
A swing and a miss. Cannon falls behind 1-2. Singled off of Wright, scored the team's only run back in the second inning. And the 1-2 pitch, that's low away in the dirt, backhanded by Cody, the catcher. Count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know how much excitement there's been surrounding WPF this summer, and our audiences, we've talked about how people have tuned in to the games all summer long. I want to give a shout out to some folks in Denton, Maryland who are watching tonight. So all over, people tuned in.
Wow. Well, a lot of these players, again, hailing from all different parts of the country. In the case of a few players outside the country as well.
Gasparotto was on Team Italy.
Several players for Hub City hailing from Mexico. So it doesn't surprise me that you get audiences from all corners of the country and beyond. A lot of friends and family of these players, again, coming from California, a good chunk of them. All others, here in Texas, Maryland, Pennsylvania, the list goes on and on.
They're really exciting to see, and it goes back to our conversation earlier about the growth of the game. Not just here at the professional level, not just in the college level, but you go around the United States of America and you see the way the sport of softball has grown, and it does my heart good.
Leadoff walk for Cannon. She's on for the second time. Got a good way for the Tidal Wave to start their 4th inning.
See some movement down in that Smoke bullpen. I think it's Shao now who's getting loose.
Samantha Shao, one of the top 2A players in the league. Didn't see her or anybody else besides Autumn Pease pitch last night as she threw her 5-inning no-hitter. Lynch with the ground ball to short. Grimm to Jefferson, Despinoza, but no out at first base. A fielder's choice. Good attempt, though, on the 6-4-3 double play. 1 out in the inning on this infield defensive play here made by the Smoke.
Yeah, not much Grimm, the shortstop, could do there. Kind of a high chop, high hop at the end. Smoke did all they could to try to turn that thing. Of course, Smoke looking at a glass half filled. We're able to get the lead runner.
Runner on, 1 out for Jimenez. Does she have any more postseason moments left for herself this year as we look at a strike on the inner half, 0-1?
You know, Jimenez, especially with what she's done the past couple of weeks, talk about next season. You know, Jimenez has gotten the attention of some people. It is an offensive league. Fair to say?
Very much so. As we just said earlier, there have been 6 straight run rule games played here in San Marcos and possibly a 7th if the score holds right now.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot because I've known you long enough that I can do this. Last college softball season, how many run rule games do you think you did?
Maybe 3, maybe.
And you did a boatload of games.
A lot of games. The thought of a 20-run game from any team was unheard of as Jimenez hits one up the chutes and Espinoza gloves it for the 2nd out. But we saw the Smoke put up 20 in a game. We saw Coastal Bend put up 14 the other night. You know, how many double-digit games have we seen for the Smoke this year?
Yeah, I'd have to get Frankie to look at the stats, but all the runs, yeah. What about the home run numbers?
Well, in terms of home runs seen here this ballpark, we produced 25-ish games.
Huh?
Maybe saw 10, 12.
Well, I know Eccles, when they put her stats up, and these are games only played here at Bobcat Softball Stadium. Eccles has hit 7 herself here. There's a look at her. And Vanderford, when you talk about other franchises, how many has Vanderford hit? The rookie out of Texas State.
I think here at home she wound up hitting 8.
I think I saw 7 of them. It seemed like it. And that's why, go back to tonight, go back to last night, because of that power production, that's why it's so important not to give away free bases, whether it be walks or errant defensive plays, whatever. Because the mash is going to come, but when the home runs happen, you hope they're solo shots.
Timeout call by the catcher, Jada Cody. Going to visit with Jayla right in the circle here in this 9-1 game in the bottom of the fourth. 2-0 the count to Rylan Wiggins. Coastal Bend trying to crawl back into the game. Meanwhile, the Smoke, just like that, they are 4 defensive outs away from a title-clinching victory. Perhaps could do so with another run rule. This a best-of-3 series. The Smoke won last night's opener 8-0 and on top by 8 here in the fourth. Rylan Wiggins the batter. Count 2-0. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Wiggins drove in the only run for the tidal wave with the seconds on an RBI fielder's choice. Drove in her former Aggie teammate Trinity Cannon. 3-1.
When you think about Texas A&M, you mentioned that program and the fact that you have Wiggins and Hill and Cannon participating in the WPF. What about the growth of Texas A&M's program located about 2 hours away from here?
The job that Tricia Ford has done with that program since taking over a couple of years ago from Arizona State. Wiggins with a fly ball to right. Deep into the corner and just shy of the warning track. The catch is made by Morgan Howe. So Wiggins gives it a ride, but not deep enough. And now 4 innings in the books. We head to the 5th. The Smoke inching closer to a repeat title here in San Marcos. We head to the top of the 5th inning, 9-1 Texas Smoke on top of the Coastal Bend tidal wave. Brain Freeman alongside Bill Culhane. Glad to have you with us in what could be the final night of the season for the WPF, unless the tidal wave can come back. We've enjoyed bringing you these broadcasts all summer long, thanks to our tremendous crew as well, the job that they've done in bringing you WPF softball. As we resume play in the top of the 5th inning, Morgan Howe leading off here for the Smoke. It is batters 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the reigning champs, who are 3 defensive outs away from perhaps run ruling the tidal wave for a second straight night to clinch their second straight title.
May I interject?
You may.
In regards to what you just said is how I try to check up there. But the guy to my left, gentleman to my left, Brand Freeman, he and I have done games for 3 decades now, and I know the work, the dedication, the effort that he puts in to helping to put together these broadcasts. And I'm more of a fan than a broadcaster nowadays. I'm not as old as I look, but I've kind of hung him up. And the team, Victoria and the entire team who have helped to bring WPF action. So there's a ground out to second. But the job the team has done has been exceptional because we've credited these athletes and coaches and fans for taking part in this summer of softball. But, you know, when you think of the work of not only the folks back in the production room, but out here, don't let those red umbrellas fool you for our camera people down the lines. It is toasty out here, and it has been all summer. And our camera look, there's a great look there. That is not a cooling umbrella. That is just an umbrella. But you get my point. The crew has done an incredible job.
A couple of ground outs have started the inning. Nobody on, 2 outs. So back to the top of the order, to Janae Jefferson. Smoke perhaps looking for some insurance here, as they need an 8-run lead after 5 to complete the run rule. You hit the fast forward button to the bottom of the inning. Garcia, Chellerman, and Ochoa due up for the tidal wave. Jefferson with a ball that's going to land into center field over the glove of the shortstop, Alzaldo, who is running on kind of a bad wheel right now. And Jefferson able to collect her second hit of the night.
Yeah, we saw Alzaldo, her earlier at bat, trying to beat out a ball to first base, and she kind of pulled up, and you see it again. You talk about effort, dedication, grit, and fight. And Zaldo is all of that and then some. Trying to help her team to a championship. They've got work to do.
Espinoza looks at a pitch up from Valdez. 1 ball, no strikes. Been a rather quiet night for Espinoza. 1 for 3 with a single.
If I told you that the Smoke would have 9 runs tonight, you would ask me, well, what did Espinoza do? How did she contribute to that?
Espinoza, Jake Wish, Eccles. Instead, it's been pretty much all Matty Grimm. 9 runs scored by the Smoke, 7 of them driven home by Grimm. How about that?
How about that? And then last night, 8 runs scored, and Jaquish drove in 5 of them.
Fly ball towards left center, and it is the left fielder, Whitley, who makes the catch, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Smoke 3 defensive outs away from a title. On top of the tidal wave, 9-1. Coastal Bend batting when we return here in San Marcos. Nice showing by the fans here in this championship series game. Game 2 of the championship series. Smoke on top 1-0. And on top here in game 2, 9-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Smoke 3 outs away from ending the night early and ending with another title and with perhaps a 27th straight win.
And when we all compare seasons, right? But when you compare this season to what the Smoke did a season ago, it was really a battle and a fight in 2023. You talked about the playoff run for the Smoke a year ago and ran into difficulty at times in the playoffs a year ago. But this has been a locked and loaded team since game 1 here in 2024.
A pinch hitter starts the inning. Michaela Ramos will pinch hit for Alyssa Garcia. Ramos, Chellerman, Ochoa trying to keep the season going here for Coastal Bend. They need at least one run to do so. Swing and a miss, strike one. Jalen Wright's back in the circle, 5th inning of work.
Tough ask here for Ramos, who's been over in the dugout to, stand in against a pitcher like Wright who can smell victory. It's been so good tonight. Saw it from Pease last night, and Wright has been really, really good tonight.
Another swing and a miss, 0-2. Wright, 4 innings, 1 run given up on 3 hits. A walk and a strikeout for the former Duke Blue Devil.
So think about that. Over 9 combined innings, 1 run on 3 hits yielded.
Ground ball left side. Grimm. What hasn't she done tonight? And 1 away in the 5th inning, and the Smoke 2 outs away from the title.
Yeah, Grimm, like Jaquish last night, talk about a memory for a lifetime. I remember the night when I blank.
To this point, you fill in the blank with drove in 7 to help my team win a title.
Couple of nice defensive plays.
Swing and a miss by Chellerman. The only strikeout victim of Rice tonight, falls behind 0-1.
And I'm sure Grimm, like many of her teammates, when you watch the way they interact and the culture they've built in that Smoke dugout, they'd share a lot of the credit with each other.
Does she offer? No, says Trina Comerford over at third base. Cano even to Chellerman, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ochoa waits on deck. And a pitch and misses low and away. That'll run the count to 2-1.
Not sure we can get a look at the first base dugout for the tidal wave, but for you young players out there, look at the way the tidal wave players are on that front. Look at that. Look at they're out front and they're cheering each other on, even though things not looking particularly good at the moment. You never give up. You never quit. You keep fighting.
Fastball misses up and in. And that tidal wave dugout getting more and more boisterous with each pitch.
I love it. I love it. Don't wave the white flag because you never know.
And the 3-1, Chellerman grounds one to the right side. Handled by Jefferson, and now the Smoke are 1 out away.
I'm going to do some quick math here, Brant, while you're doing some administrative stuff.
Well, the administration right now would be that Malaysia Ochoa is coming up. Bases empty, 2 outs. 8-run game with a 5th. Higher math there. The tidal wave again down to their final out.
By my count, that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ground balls that Wright has been able to induce tonight. Good pitching, living low in the zone, having tidal wave batters roll over.
Malaysia Ochoa 0 for 2 in the game with a ground down to fly out. Ahead here against Wright, 1 ball, no strikes. Now fly ball, left center field and deep, and that is gone. Malaysia Ochoa says we're not done yet.
Talk about never give up, never quit, keep fighting. Look at that celebration at home plate. For a moment, you would maybe think it's the tidal wave who are out in front.
So Ochoa, with her team season on the brink of elimination, goes deep against Jayla Wright for a 2-out home run. And this game will continue.
And what did I say about Ochoa earlier? Talk about a player who's drawn the attention of others in the WPF. Ochoa's been really good.
Now a 9-2 game. If you recall, on the top of the inning, the Smoke were unable to add insurance to what was an 8-run lead, and it prevents them from run ruling the tidal wave, at least not yet. All right, so bases empty, 2 outs for Tate Whitley. Have to really admire the 1-2 and the fight here from Coastal Bend.
Life lesson on display here at Bobcat Softball Stadium. And now the Smoke have to lock back in.
So the game will extend into the 6th inning. Part of the advantage for Coastal Bend being the home team. They get the final at-bat, right?
That's it. I looked at the rule book. That's what it says. Let's not forget, Ochoa went the opposite way on her home run.
That is the first homer of the championship series for Coastal Bend after hitting 4 in Monday's semifinal win over the Monarchs.
And just after I get done saying that Wright had been keeping the ball down and ground ball after ground ball, Ochoa said, watch this ground ball.
The 2-1 knocked down by Wright, losing her glove, recovers and throws to first for the final out. But Malaysia Ochoa, with 2 outs and the team down to its final out in the 5th inning, goes deep for an opposite field home run to extend the game. Malaysia Ochoa, a 2-out solo home run, has made it 9-2. And we will go to the 6th inning. Smoke batting when we come back here in San Marcos. Malaysia Ochoa, look at her in center field after hitting the game-extending solo home run of the 5th inning. The tidal wave down to their final out by Malaysia Ochoa says, I want to keep playing with this team. It goes deep for a home run, and that dugout of the tidal wave a little bit more energized right now despite being down 9-2.
And you wonder how much of that energy that the tidal waves dugout displayed in that half inning, how much of that transferred to a player like Ochoa, who said what you said, Brant, my season is not over.
So we go to the top of the 6th inning, heart of the order batting here for the Smoke. Savannah Jaquish, Charla Eccles, and Jada Cody. In a 9-2 game in the 6th inning. Fouled away, 0-2 to Jaquish, who is 0 for 1 with a walk, or a couple of walks that are unscored tonight.
How much of what Jaquish did in last night's game are a reason that the Smoke are on the verge of back-to-back championships?
There are 2 homers and 5 RBI last night. The big bat for the Smoke in the opener. Tonight it's been Maddie Grimm with their 7 RBI night. Twice clearing the bases with a 3-run homer in the 2nd and a 3-run double in the 4th.
And that's out of the 7-hole for the Smoke. Depth, offense up and down the batting order.
0-2 to Jaquish. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cassie Valdez, again the pitcher. Two-way player at Our Lady of the Lake. Talked about her team record going 57-3. 3 years at Our Lady of the Lake. Her program's going 154-24. Just an insane win-loss percentage. You see how well she's done in the circle in the WPF. She was a great hitter as a Saints as well. This past year, Our Lady of the Lake hit 347, hit 15 homers. OPS just under 1,300. 2-2. That's high. Fills the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Valdez actually began her collegiate career here at Texas State before transferring about 45 minutes due south of here to the greater San Antonio area.
Full count to Jaquish. Takes strike 3. Impressive pitch there from Valdez. That's her first strikeout in relief, and 1 down to the 6th.
Look at it here. I think Jaquish thought it was down. Looked like it had the plate. So we got to look at it there. Not sure, but also a nice job there by the catcher Garcia.
Bases empty, 1 out for Charla Eccles. That's time for ball 1. More on Valdez's resume with what she did with the bat at Our Lady of the Lake. 127 RBI in 3 seasons playing NAIA softball. And that's the thing, too. You wouldn't think an NAIA player would be on the level with some of these Power 5 greats and some of the greats in the country. But Valdez has proven that wrong.
Well, and talks about the growth of the sport that you and I have talked about, not just tonight, last night, and throughout this summer, but the way the sport has grown at so many levels. This is not, I don't want to offend anybody here, but, you know, this is not our moms and our grandmoms softball. This sport has absolutely taken off. I'm going to throw a number out, the last 20 years.
And you said it too, Valdez began a career at Texas State. She is D1 talented.
Oh, for sure.
And has shown she's also talented enough to play pro softball and do so very well. We'll never forget her 12 strikeout night against the Monarchs here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, she has well represented herself throughout this season and tonight.
Eccles takes ball 4 outside. She's on for the 2nd time and draws her first walk of the game.
Number 17, Jada Cody.
That'll bring up Jada Cody. So far, her nights, no official at-bat, 2 walks and a sac fly RBI. Steps up here with a runner on and 1 out in a 9-2 game. Takes a first pitch strike here from Valdez. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on her that time. 0-2. Talked about just how much the tidal wave have spent time in San Marcos as of late for Valdez. Nearly 30 innings pitched in this ballpark now. 0-2, and that shot foul. 28 1/3 officially for Valdez. And along the way, 28 strikeouts.
Good ratio there. And there have been times we've seen Valdez this summer where she's gotten too much of the plate and given up the long ball. But there have also been many moments where she's among the best in the WPF.
Fly ball to left field, high, towering shot, and that's going to fly. Jada Cody with a 2-run bomb. Puts a smoke on top by 9, 11-2.
Looked like a case there. Just got done saying it. Valdez looked like that pitch was up. Cody, early on the previous 2 pitches, was not early there. Yeah, that pitch was up, and Cody kind of opens that lead shoulder, and she has a quick trigger. That is an explosive swing. The 5th home run that Cody has hit at this stadium this season.
Second in UCF history in home runs. Cody going deep for a 9-run lead. And so once again, the Smoke in run rule territory.
Not unlike what we've seen this entire championship series, the tidal wave don't have any quit in them. I anticipate they'll continue to fight until the final out.
And they will have the heart of the order coming up in the bottom of the 6th. Anzaldo, Cannon, and Lynch, 3, 4, and 5. But now they're going to need to score at least twice to keep the game going.
Those 3 names you mentioned, 3 pivotal pieces of the tidal wave 2024 season.
They're looking at Tatum Anzaldo. We talk about a player with a lot of heart. Playing through a lower leg injury right now, has been doing that for the past couple of weeks. 3-0 is a get me over strike, 3-1.
When you say that about Anzaldo, there have been times, and you and I have even commented off air, that you wondered if she was coming back. You know, is this the last time we're going to see Anzaldo as you watch her react to running the bases or out defensively, and she comes back every time. By the way, did see Samantha Shao go back into the Smokes bullpen.
So will we see Shao? Are we going to see Wright? Maybe even Jessica Mullins in the bottom of the 6th. A miss inside to Jazz Hill. She draws a walk. Second walk of the inning given up by Valdez.
Number 9, Maddie
Grimm's had a decent night.
I would say so. Decent, I don't think really quite describes it, but Grimm for the game, 2 for 2, 7 RBI, a home run and a double, and an RBI walk. First pitch in there, strike, 0-1.
And when everybody's around the water cooler tomorrow talking about tonight's game, talking about the championship series, and talking about the depth of this Smoke team, again, I can't get over the fact that Grimm didn't play last night. And here she is.
Starting at shortstop, Espinoza started as shortstop last night. Savannah Jaquish was the catcher. Jada Cody was at first base.
Think about that versatility. The coaching staff for the Smoke, how they can move the puzzle pieces, the chess pieces.
Force out at second for 1 and the only out of the play. So Grimm hits into an out for the first time. So really the only change that Kat Tarvin made was she took Samantha Shao out, put Maddie Grimm in, and the move has worked pretty well so far.
Okay, you kind of joked at me for saying decent night, so I'm going to
throw it right back at
throw
her.
it right back at you. Yeah, she's done okay.
Runner on, 2 out for Morgan Howe. With a 2-run homer by Jada Cody be enough with the Smoke to get a run rule tonight. $11 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Smoke. Couple of runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the tidal wave in this championship series game.
It's one thing that the Smoke have done to opponents throughout the 2024 season is if you're the opposition, you arrive at the ballpark knowing you have to score runs. There's some pressure involved in that.
1 ball, 2 strikes. I'd imagine when we get to the bottom of the 6th, we'll see that tidal wave dugout staying engaged. Despite the situation, ball in the dirt.
Good job by Garcia, keeps the force out in order.
And we saw Garcia lifted for a pinch hitter in the 5th inning, but stays in the game defensively.
Tidal Wave fans down along the coast, their Robstown, Greater Corpus area, have to be excited about this franchise and what's to come.
Swing and a miss, a strikeout. Ends the inning. Second strikeout for Valdez, but a Jada Cody 2-run homer has given the Smoke an 11-2 lead, and once again the champs are 3 outs away from a run rule victory. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. When we come back, it's 11-2, Smoke on top. Bill and I were wondering about the new pitcher into the game. It is, in fact, Samantha Shao. She'll take the place of Jayla Wright, who gave the Smoke 5 innings here tonight. And so Samantha Shao in the circle now. When pitching here at home, Shao 6-0. 36 1/3 innings for Shao when pitching at her home ballpark. ERA of 1.54 and a strikeout to walk ratio of 26-12. She'll face the heart of the order for the Tidal Wave here in the 6th. Tatum Anzaldo, Trinity Cannon, Kelly Lynch. And again, Shao the Smoke 3 defensive outs away from a run rule victory on top of the 6th inning, 11-2.
You know, you and I have had numerous conversations about, MVP and first team this, second team that kind of conversations. And when it comes to two-way players, name somebody in the WPF who's done a better job in 2024 than Samantha Shao as a two-way player.
Not sure you could name one. First pitch from Shao here sails to the backstop. So the starter, Jayla Wright, in line for the win. 5 innings, 2 runs off 4 hits with a walk and a strikeout.
Back-to-back stellar starting performances by the Smoke pitching staff.
1-0 to Anzaldo, fouled off. And you can tell she is still hobbling. What a gutsy player. A couple of weeks ago in a series against the Monarchs, it was a late scratch before a game because of an injury she suffered during pregame warmups. Actually came off the bench in that very game and hit a home run. And has been starting ever since, despite the fact she's not 100% healthy.
And it's not as though Anzaldo has just been a name in the lineup, just been a warm body out there. She has been tremendous in this run towards the end of the season and throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, had a huge semifinal game against the Monarchs on Monday, 2 for 2 with a grand slam. Really helped put that game away. That was a 14-2 run rule victory that night for the Tidal Wave. On the wrong end of the scoreboard here. 3-1 to Anzaldo, fouled away again. And the count rounds out to 3-2.
And something the Tidal Wave were able to do on Monday night that they just haven't been able to do up to this point through the first couple of games is put pressure on the Smoke. Not able to put together that early big inning, and now would need an incredible comeback, and that's one way to get it started.
Draws the leadoff walk. Have to imagine that Blake Miller is going to bring in a pinch runner for her. It does have the lineup card intact, and I can imagine that'll lead to Anzaldo going into the dugout.
Victoria pointed out that Coach Miller down in that third base coaching box has changed up the hat game.
And why not?
Are you stitious or superstitious?
Very stitious.
There's a good look at Coach. What a job he's done.
Now remember, to extend the game to his 7th inning, Coastal Bend needs at least 2 runs here in the 6th inning, down by 9. Have to get the deficit to within 8. Rock Benavidez, the pinch runner at first base. Cannon the batter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rock Benavidez, speaking of the pride of the folks down in the greater Corpus Christi area. Benavidez from that area, representing her hometown professional softball team. There's a look at her.
That is a base hit to right, rolls all the way to the wall. Benavidez on her way to third is going to stop there. Cannon has a double, second to third, and nobody out for Coastal Bend.
What did you say about fight? What did you say about never give up? Nice piece of hitting there. Is Cannon able to shoot that one on the outside third and doesn't try to do too much with it. Just basically hits it where it's pitched.
So Shao comes into the game, gives up a walk and a double. And once again, that run rule victory is perhaps slipping away here for the Smoke, at least in terms of ending the game early. As that game extending run now stands at second base.
Does that mean if it plays out, Smoke winning, does that mean the champagne's going to be even colder? It's been on ice.
It remains on ice, sure. Lynch. That is a base hit up the middle. Benavidez scores. Cannon stops at third base, and now it's 11-3.
And that explosion of sound that you hear, guess what? It's that tidal wave first base dugout. What a nice dance job by Cannon at second to not let that ball hit her. Of course, if it does, she's out.
Able to avoid it, and Cannon winds up at third base. And another change coming up here for Coastal Bend. As Blake Miller has his lineup card out. Another pinch runner comes into the game at first base in place of Lynch. The little used Reagan Glantz into the game now. And now Julie Jimenez, who's 0 for 2. And the first pitch from Shao in the dirt, blocked by Cody, and Glantz takes off for second base.
Glantz, as she popped off the first base bag, hesitated for a moment, thinking about maybe hoping to draw a throw, didn't get it, and just continued on trucking.
Looking back at that fired up dugout of Coastal Bend's now. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. We haven't seen a lot of drama in this championship series, but there's some excitement right now with the way that Coastal Bend is fighting back into the game.
The fans are engaged, and you know, you might be saying with the score like it is, I'm telling you, you can feel the energy.
1-1 pitch, that's ripped foul. Is it playable? It is just out of the reach of Jazz Hill. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, there's a big part of me as I sit here and I listen, and I'm doing it, you know, saying no fight, no quit. Well, guess what? The players on the tidal wave team, they wouldn't be here playing in the WPF if they didn't have those characteristics.
We have described the home run power for Jimenez, again, on display quite a bit as of late. Were she to get a hold of one here, all of a sudden the game becomes really interesting.
She's just missed a couple tonight, including that foul ball.
The 1-2 pitch from Shao, swung on to left and to Jazz Hill, makes a catch, runner tags from third, Throw home and the tag not in time. A sac fly for Julie Jimenez. And Coastal Bend will not be run ruled tonight.
Glanz makes it all the way to third as the throw's coming in. So an opportunity here for the Tidal Wave to add another run with a runner at third and less than 2 outs.
And so a guaranteed 7th inning will be played. Rylan Wiggins, swing and a miss, strike one.
Everybody saw it, but get back to the shot by Jimenez. She absolutely barreled that ball up. Didn't get any lift on it, however, and it was hit right at Hill. Somewhat unlucky. We don't know how this game's going to end tonight. We've seen strange things happen, but we do know this, that the Tidal Wave will be able to take a lot away from this, regardless of the outcome.
Everything we've talked about, all this fight and want to from Coastal Bend at the end of the day, however, if you're the Smoke, you still have that 7-run pad right now. On top 11-4. Coastal Bend trying to continue to claw back as Wiggins fouls off another, even the count 2-2.
I think Wiggins would like to have that one back. Had a lot of the plate kind of up in the zone.
Swing and a miss as she climbs the ladder. Wiggins down on strikes. First strikeout for Shao. And now 2 outs through the 6th.
And that's a big out. Big strikeout with that runner on third and less than 2 outs.
No matter how this game ends, a lot of pride shown tonight by Coastal Bend. Garcia steps up and takes strike one here from Samantha Shao.
There's a lot of room in right center. Saw Garcia hit a double there Monday night.
On the ground at third. Eccles, nice pick. Throw to first base for the outs in the inning. But again, Coastal Bend denying the Smoke of a run rule victory. Scoring twice in the 6th inning, which means we go to the 7th. 7-run game. Smoke 11, Coastal Bend 4. You're watching Pro Softball on the official WPF YouTube channel. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Cat Tarvin's team is on top of the Coastal Bend Tidal Wave 11-4. Inching closer and closer to a repeat title. Twice had chances to end the game earlier with run rules, but twice Coastal Bend coming back. Got a run in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning to extend the game into the 7th. 11-4 as we go to the top of the inning. Coming up, Anna Marie Bruni. She'll be followed by Janae Jefferson and Silent Rain Espinoza here in the 7th.
You bring up a good point there, Brand. You brought up a good point. Even though Wright had a little bit of trouble in the bottom of the 5th and Chow in the 6th, they were able to limit the damage.
They were. Coastal Bend with 4 runs on the board. Off 6 hits. 11 runs on 10 hits tonight for the Smoke. It's gone Kelly Lynch, Cassie Valdez in the circle for Coastal Bend. Jayla Wright and Samantha Chow for the Smoke. So far the line tonight for Cassie Valdez in the circle. She's gone 4 innings, has struck out 2 and has walked 4.
Just keeps taking the ball, going out there and competing, just like her teammates. When Valdez came in for Lynch, I don't know that we thought Valdez would be pitching this late in the game.
And there Bruni just fisted one foul. And Valdez pitching in a 2nd straight night as well. Pitched quite a bit in the series against the Smoke last week. Had a 5-inning start in one of those games.
And this was after throwing Monday as well. So it's been a busy week for Valdez, and she's taking the ball each time.
And strikes out Bruni swinging. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Cassie Valdez. 3rd of the game and 1 down in the 7th.
The ability to change speeds. You don't have to run it up there 75 miles per hour each pitch to pitch effectively.
Back to the top of the Smoke order to Janae Jefferson. 2 for 4 tonight. And Jefferson takes strike 1 from Valdez.
You've mentioned you've done a better job of it, quite frankly, better job than I have, Brant, but in talking about the Olympic team coming up in 2028 and Jefferson right on cue. She'll be a huge part of that conversation, that makeup of that team, I would think.
A lot could happen over the next 4 years, yes.
You heard me pause a little bit, right?
Yep. But Jefferson, playing for the women's national team, has done a lot at that international level, doing a lot here in the WPF. Certainly making her case. That base hit her 3rd of the night, and it brings up Silent Rain Espinoza.
We'll wait to see what the WPF 2024 awards will be. But you're looking at Espinoza there. You folks just tuned in. She will definitely be a part of that MVP conversation, Player of the Year topic.
I would think Espinoza, Jefferson, Eccles, all in line for Player of the Year. There was Player of the Year and Offensive Player of the Year in the WPF a season ago. If that happens again, I could see 2 of those 3 players earning that honor.
And there's a look at Eccles. Tough conversations. And then when you think about, first team all WPF, there's a lot of talent across all 4 organizations.
Do you think Coastal Bend? I would think Tatum Monzaldo would be up for that.
Have to be. Then you go over to the Monarchs. Vanderford, the rookie 3rd baseman for the Monarchs. Maybe not first team all WPF third baseman, but rookie of the year.
Espinosa strikes out meanwhile. Another strikeout for Valdez. 2 in the inning. Espinosa down on strikes for a second time. And now 2 outs in the 7th. But after a ball down in the dirts.
Yep, you folks tuned in, I know, understand first base was occupied, so Espinosa automatically out, but Jefferson does a good job of seeing the ball down in the dirt and takes off for second.
I would think Malaysia Ochoa also up for all of WPF, representing Coastal Bend. Jake Wish takes strike 1.
And think about it, her home run back in the bottom of the 5th inning is the reason we're playing 30, 45 more minutes of softball. It's a good look at her. You'll be seeing more of her, I predict, in the coming seasons.
0-1 to Jake Wish. 1 ball, 1 strike. If Coastal Bend is to get a rally going in the bottom of the 7th, it'll start with the bottom of the order. Chellerman due up, then Ochoa, then Whitley.
And then the big boppers.
They're going to have 3 outs to score at least 7 runs. But of course, we've seen plenty of big innings in the WPF this year.
Boy, haven't we? We've talked about it a couple of times tonight, and just, you know, the offense, especially the power, because you and I have seen a lot of softball games here at Bobcat Softball Stadium. And we talked about the modified bats.
Really changed the tone of the season in a hurry mid-year. 1-2 to Jake Wish. Up the middle, that's going to get through for a bouncing base hit. Jefferson flies around third, but now going to go back to third base after a great throw by Ochoa. Jake Wish winds up at seconds. Well, usually in a ball hit like that with Jefferson starting at second, she's going to score, but can't here because Ochoa plays it so well.
Plays it so well and does such a great job of getting to that ball quickly. I thought it was a foregone conclusion, especially with 2 outs. I thought Jefferson would have the green light at third. Maybe because who's up right now is the reason the stop sign was put up.
That's Eccles. Fouls off the first pitch. It's 0-1. You look at where the runs have come from in the lineup tonight, not batters 1 through 4, but more so 5 through 9 for the Smoke. Eccles smacks one to right center. That's going to score a pair. Jefferson, Jake Wish both score. Eccles to second base with a double. 13-4 Smoke on top after a 2-run double from Charlotte Eccles.
Eccles just keeps on hitting. And again, you go back to the stop sign of Jefferson at third base. I think in part because there's a lot of confidence in Eccles being able to produce in a 2-out RBI situation. She has done that, has Eccles, all summer long.
Last year, the Smoke scored 14 in their title-clinching victory over USSSA Pride. Got 13 on the board here. And so far in championship series games, 4 of them, the Smoke have outscored the opposition 40-10.
Stepping up in big moments, I think, is what you're describing. And you look at these other 3 teams in the WPF here in the 2024 version, and they've got the template. They see what it looks like.
Here's Cody, who homered last time up, a 2-run shot off of Valdez in the 6th inning. Coming to the plate after a big 2-out base hit from Charlotte Eccles. Driving in 2 on the double. 2 balls, no strikes to Cody here. Now 13 hits in the game for the Smoke. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Nice pitch there on the outside corner at the knees.
Barring a big comeback here from Coastal Bend, you're looking at back-to-back titles for the Texas Smoke in their first 2 years as a WPF franchise.
They built quite a team when you look at all facets, from organization, good pitch there by Valdez, but organization, offense, defense, pitching staff, depth, chemistry, all of it.
A little bit more breathing room for the Smoke after a 2-out, 2-run double from Charlie Eccles. 3 outs away from a title, on top of the tidal wave, 13-4. The reigning champion Texas Smoke 3 outs away from a repeat title. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning on top 13-4. A couple of insurance runs in the top of the inning courtesy of Charlie Eccles. A 2-run, 2-out double has made it a 9-run game. Coming up in the bottom of the 7th, Grace Chellerman, Malaysia Ochoa, and Tate Whitley due to hit for Coastal Bend, a team down to its final 3 outs. Twice his team down to its final 3 outs. Almost run ruled in the 5th inning. Got a 2-out solo homer from Ochoa to extend the game. And then down by 9 going into the bottom of the 6th, scored twice to extend the game again. Got RBIs from Kelly Lynch and Julia Jimenez to keep the game going. But now running out of bounds down to their final 3. One ball, 1 strike to Chellerman. On the ground at third, goes off the glove of Eccles and can't recover. Eccles has been so good at third base all season long, but can't make that play, and Chellerman's going to reach.
Eccles has played near flawless third base this season. That I'm going to make a confession here. I kind of assumed that Eccles would make another nice play there. It was a short hop there as she was on the move. Knew she had to hurry because Chellerman can run. That's the way you get a rally started. Get people on.
1-0 to Malaysia Ochoa. Facing Shao for the first time. Samantha Shao came into the game with the 6th. After 5 innings from Jayla Wright. Shao, one of several players playing for a repeat title here this evening. On last year's Smoke team, 2-0 counts, fouled back. Count runs to 2 balls and a strike to Ochoa.
Ochoa knows she had a pitch there to hit. Just couldn't quite square it up.
As Bill said, Ochoa's got a bright future ahead of her with this franchise. And as a pro, shown a lot of promise this year. Fouled away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not only with her bat, but as we saw in the last half inning with her glove as well.
Yeah, no doubt. She can run it down out there in center field. Kind of takes charge of that tidal wave defensive outfield.
Two from Shao. As the miss goes upstairs, fills the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Good job of laying off there by Cho, and knows that her team needs base runners here. Good speed at first base with Chettleman, by the way.
3-2 is a pop-up right up the chute. Near third base with a catch made by Grimm behind Eccles for the first out of the inning.
Great job by Samantha Shao there. Against a good hitter, quite a battle. Able to induce that pop-up to get her team 2 outs away from championship number 2.
Runner on, 1 out for Tate Whitley. A 1-for-3 night here in game 2 of the series. Swing and a miss for strike 1. A championship presentation coming up at game's end as well. Provided the Smoke get these final 2 outs. In a 13-4 game, 1 ball, 1 strike to Whitley.
I don't usually root for plays to happen, right? You and I are wearing gray up here, but I'd love for Anzaldo to get another at-bat.
And she's on deck. You think of some of the highlights this year for Coastal Bend. Opening weekend, split 2 games against Hub City. Won their first series against the Monarchs, 2-1 with a couple of walk-off wins.
Yeah, their season opening series against Hub City, a lot of excitement.
A bluff throw to second base, and Whitley's safe at first. The ball dropped by Espinoza. So yes, we will see Tatum Anzaldo get at least 1 more at-bat.
I mentioned Chettleman's speed a moment ago, and because of her ability to quickly get to second base, it looked like the cover at second a little bit late there. And then the rush throw over to first, and things went awry for the Smoke. It's ruled a single.
Alzando pushes the bunt foul. Talked about that series against the Monarchs, second weekend of the year. Or the third weekend of the season that saw Hub City, or saw Coastal Bend, I beg your pardon, win twice in walk-off fashion. They also would later sweep a 4-game series from the Monarchs back home in Robstown. Fouled off, 0-2. And the biggest highlight in the season was their semifinal run rule victory over the Monarchs, 14-2.
It was breathtaking on Monday. 15 hits, 4 doubles, 4 home runs. Coastal Bend could not do anything wrong on Monday. The Monarchs ran into a buzzsaw.
Got her looking, strike 3. And now the Smoke are 1 out away.
How about that pitch by Samantha Shao? Absolutely paints the outside corner on the black. Zaldo thought it was a little bit off the outside edge. Great pitch by Shao.
Trinity Cannon batting now with 2 outs and ahead of the count, 1 ball, no strikes. Highlights for the Smoke, well, it's been the entire season, Bill.
Let's get it.
29-1.
Yeah, you could almost have a quicker conversation by saying there was the one blip during their flawless run here in 2024. And you and I called it.
Popped up, this should do it. Espinoza and the Texas Smoke have done it. A repeat title caps off a season of pure dominance for the Texas Smoke.
As you watch the Smoke celebrate, so much to celebrate for that softball team. Brant and I just touched upon it. To go through this season, this gauntlet, and only drop one ball game, come into the playoffs, and the Smoke did not miss a beat. The Smoke, they were what we saw throughout the entirety of 2024.
Back-to-back championships for the Flag Bearers of the WPF, the Texas Smoke. They sweep the league championship series 2-0. Won in a run rule last night, 8-0 win tonight, 13-4. Coastal Bend was game, but the Texas Smoke were simply better.
Yeah, really good job up and down the lineup. The starting pitching in both games. What Pease did last night in throwing the no-hitter in the 8-0 run rule, and then right on cue, came out tonight and gave her team an opportunity clearly to win this game. It was something to behold, but we've said it. You have to go back through the entire 3 months of this season. The Texas Smoke have been worthy champions.
And no surprise, our play of the game, the shortstop, Matty Grimm, what a night, drives in 7. Huge night for the shortstop of the Texas Smoke.
After being a spectator of sorts in last night's game, yeah, the Grim Reaper came out and did work for her team out of the 7-hole, 7 RBI for a lot of players, 7 runs driven in a month. They'd be talking about it. Well, she, for the rest of her life, she can say, I put up 7 ribbies in a championship clinching win.
And there they are, the hats and the T-shirts out for the Smoke. As they celebrate, you look at Matty Grimm, a 3-run homer, the second, RBI walk in the third, and the bases clearing double in the 4th inning. She is your player of the game. Meanwhile, for Coastal Bend, a tough end to their season, but a lot to be proud of.
And a lot to build upon for the tidal wave as well. When you look especially here towards the end of the season and then in this playoff run, the tidal wave have proven that they were a worthy championship series team, and they just ran into an incredible Texas Smoke squad. You look ahead to the 2025 season, and if this Smoke team can stay intact, especially the key pieces, they are going to have a high bar again for the other teams in the WPF. But you know, the Adelitas, you know the tidal wave, you know the Monarchs, they're going to get out their pencils and paper and go to work to get ready for next season.
Well, we do have the trophy presentation coming up. The Smoke celebrating, and we'll have the trophy presentation for you when we come back. Final score again here in Game 2 of the Championship Series. The Smoke sweep it as they win tonight 13-4, and the trophy presentation is coming up next. And welcome back to Bobcat Softball Stadium. The trophy presentation underway. We take you down now to public address here in St. Marcus.
Award as well. We got Evan over here in the front. Everyone's getting ready, taking some pictures. They got their championship shirts, their hats. All right, well, at this time, we are going to announce who the MVP of the 2024 season. It is number 27, Savannah Jacobs. Ladies, come on over. Let's get a photo of you all with this gorgeous trophy over here.
And so that'll look at the Schafauer Cup, the championship trophy claimed by the Texas Smoke for a second straight year. The celebration continues as the Smoke again have claimed back-to-back titles. Congratulations to the Texas Smoke.
Yeah, a lot of smiles, a lot to celebrate for the Texas Smoke players, coaches, their fans, the entire organization. Not sure if everybody caught it there. Savannah Jaquish named MVP. Certainly a worthy season, and the exclamation point performance by her last night. The 2 home runs en route to the 8-0 win in Game 1 to set the stage for tonight's championship clinching victory.
Again, what a season for this team that ends the year having won 27 straight in 31 games played. They win 30 of them. A season to remember for the Texas Smoke.
Yeah, phenomenal history books kind of season for the Smoke. When you think about the WPF as it grows, all eyes are going to go back to the 2024 season, and there are going to be a lot of people who are going to say, are those numbers real? Well, guess what? They're real.
Well, Bill, it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to next season.
Yeah, same to you, partner. Appreciate riding along with you, bud. I do appreciate all the work that everybody put in to making these productions possible.
All right, so for Bill Colhane, I'm Rand Freeman saying so long from San Marcos, Texas. The final score in Game 2 of the series is a sweep for the Smoke. They win it by a final of 13-4 over the Coastal Bend Tidal Wave. For more information on the WPF, log on to WProFastPitch.com. This has been a presentation of the WPF. Until next time, congratulations to the champion Texas Smoke here in San Marcos.